Welcome home to St. Anne's. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you. Good morning and welcome to St. Anne's Online. And I'm laughing because my kids always do a countdown for when we're back online. So I'm always warned when I'm supposed to be ready and stop drinking coffee. It never works, but I've been warned. I'd like for us to examine the gospel today because I think there are a couple things that are worth thinking about. But first I want to highlight a couple things that I just think are worth pointing out. One, I know we get really worked up about clergy being married, but I'm going to remind you that Simon is Peter, Peter is the first pope, and Peter is clearly married. So don't get too worked up about it. It was pretty normal at that time, and it was normal up until the Middle Ages, so don't worry, it's fine. The other thing that I think, being a feminist as I am, that's worth noting is this idea that suddenly she's healed and it's well, get back to work, woman. And I think it's probably less about that, though. I mean, to be perfectly honest, that would be culturally appropriate, but we do know a little bit more about Jesus and how he was a little bit more feminist. So I think it's really more about highlighting that he healed her so well, and she's so thankful that she immediately feels so well that she can get up and serve them and help them. But I do want to highlight those two things, and that's kind of outside of the sermon today, but I think they're both worth highlighting because we can assume so many things, and we assume so many things are scriptural, when really they're more cultural or more historical. This idea of clergy and their role is really more historical one than it is scriptural. So I always think that's worth highlighting there. Okay, so let's actually talk about the gospel, because that's a really important one. And you might remember last week, maybe you don't. Last week, I pointed out that Mark really, really likes healings and miracles and things like that. So Mark focuses a lot on the healings and the miracles. But what I want us to focus on today is what Jesus does, because this is really important. And this happens a lot in Scripture. Jesus goes off. So he's been very, very busy working. He's been surrounded by people. He's been healing. He's been preaching. He's been doing all these different things, doing lots and lots of really, really good things. And then he will sneak off by himself and go to a place, and he will pray. He'll be quiet. He'll be alone. He'll just take time. And it is in doing that that he recenters and then is ready to go do something else. And that's really, really important because again and again we hear this very same scenario that he's been busy, he goes off, the disciples go looking for him, they're like, Jesus, where did you go? What's happening? All these people are looking for, where are you? And it's okay, I'm ready, let's get back to work. And that's super, super important for us because now I would like to argue that maybe the pandemic has taught us a little bit about how to slow down and stop and be still. And I hope that's something that we hang on to and learn. But the reality is that we as a people tend to be very, very busy. And even if we're not legitimately busy, we live in a culture of busyness, of that there is pride in being stressed and having so much to do. And oh my gosh, I'm so busy. And oh, isn't it amazing that I'm so important that I have all these things to do? And we will create things that we just have to do because it makes us feel like we're busy, like we're important and we're doing things and we're not lazy, see? And you want to know where that actually comes from? I was talking earlier about this historical stuff that really is not scriptural so much as it's historical. So scriptural is what Jesus does, that Jesus does his work, but he has a very holistic mindset in the way that he lives his life. And so he takes time. He leaves and he is quiet. And there are plenty of people who accuse Jesus of being lazy because he wasn't aggressive enough. Our idea of work ethic is not scriptural. It comes from the early folks who came to the United States, and they believed in predestination. In fact, they believed in what we call double predestination. And what that really truly means is that God knows all so much. Everything has already been written. And God has already decided what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. God knows what you're going to do. In fact, God knows what you are going to wear this morning. God already decided that. So the hinge on that's really, really important is the double predestination part, which means God therefore knows who's going to be saved, and God knows who's going to be damned. But here's the thing. You want all your friends and neighbors to be pretty sure that you're one of the chosen ones, right? You want to make sure everyone around you knows that I'm pretty sure God already chose me. I'm one of the good ones. I'm going to be saved. Well, the best way to do that is to aggressively be better than everybody else, right? So you're going to work really hard, and you're going to have lots of money, and you're going to do all these things. You're going to be really, really successful. And over time, we as a culture encapsulated that into this busyness that we have, because my being busy proves to you that I'm a good person, that I am successful, that I have earned everything that I have, that I am predestined. I am loved by God. Again, what did I say earlier? It's not scriptural. In fact, it would go against scripture, but it's historical. It's something that we as churches and as secular Christians have really taken on, this idea of busyness. And so we live in a culture of busyness, that if I'm super, super stressed and I'm super, super busy, then I'm super, super important and I'm doing stuff. But that's not Jesus. That's not Jesus. Jesus knows and understands that for him to do the work, the incredible, difficult work that he is called to do, he must take time. He must have a chance to refocus. He can't get sucked in to all the busyness and all the chaos and all the self-importance and all the I'm impressive because I'm so busy stuff that is around him. And you and I need to be reminded of that. You and I need to be reminded that for us to truly be who we are called to be, we must take time. It's not laziness. It is time for prayer and focus and self-reflection. And I hate the term self-care because, frankly, I work in 2 different careers that use self-care in a kind of an almost abusive way. Like, you're not doing enough self-care. What are you doing for self-care? Oh, wait, don't do too much self-care because we need you to do this too. So I hesitate to use the term self-care, but that's really my stuff. That's not your stuff or anything like that. But it's important. It's important that we take time. Time to reflect, time to pray, time to breathe, time to refocus on what really truly matters. Because when we do that, we'll be reminded of our true call, of what it really means, what it is that we are called to do. And that's going to be different for every single person. But I would tell you, if you are so busy chasing the next thing, you're going to forget to love and do the things that are the very reason you were chasing those things in the first place. And that's so important. And Jesus knew that. Jesus knew that he needed to take that time because it would be easy to get sucked into all the healing and all the miracles and all the this and all the that, wouldn't it? It would be so easy because that's what people wanted. That's what they loved. We all want to be healed. We all want to feel good, right? It would be very, very easy for Jesus to get sucked into that and to be busy doing that. But Jesus knew that it was important to take that time to pray, to self-reflect. What is it that he was called to do? Okay, how do I make sure that I am living a life that pursues what I am called to do? And it refocused on that, and he pursued that. So I know today is a chaotic day. So I'm not saying that 100% do whatever. And I know that life is chaotic. But I also know that the very reasons that life is chaotic is because we're attempting to pursue the things that matter the most to us. That when we were 13 and people said, what do you want to do when you grow up? We knew that answer, right? I want to be happy. I want to help people. I want to have a family. I want to do whatever. So I want you to ask yourself that question. Who is it that you want to be? Who is it that you are called to be? Who is that very, very core part of you? The part that God knows by name. Who is that person always wanted to be? Take some time. Go to the mountain. Go to wherever your place is where you can refocus on those things, and then ask yourself, how do I get to that? How do I be that? Because I know I need those times, because sometimes it's easy to get sucked into all the other things that we are supposed to be doing, right? Supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing this. It looks like this to be a good mom these days. It looks like this to be a good priest these days. It looks this way to be a good Christian these days. It looks this way to be a Republican these days. Don't go that way. But it looks this way to be a Democrat. It looks this way to be an American. It looks this way to be a world citizen. But I want us to step back and say, what does it really look like for me to be a follower of Christ? When I am Meg and I am face to face with God, who do I know I'm called to be? And then how do I make the rest of my life fit in with that? How do I support that? How do I strip all that other stuff away and let go of it? Because I will tell you this, it seems like laziness, doesn't it? It seems like, oh, I've got so much stuff to do. I can't take a break to do that. But I will tell you, when you do, we are refreshed and we are equipped to actually truly go out and do those things that we are called to do. And that's what Jesus does here. He says, okay, now I'm ready to go. This is what I'm called here to do. Let's go. Let's get it done. And so I ask us, let's go. Let's get it done. Run it back, y'all. That's right. Get it done. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.